Alright, so originally I was supposed to make a joke about like, oh, Minecraft movie's coming out soon. I yearn for the mines or some shit like that with like the child thing. I had a thing in mind. But whilst I was researching about what type of clips I should use, I saw an andesite alloy farm. And one thing I noticed was you were actually able to make recipes using the basin and a mechanical mixer. And I was like, shit, that looks cool and it looks very efficient, but I didn't believe it. So I have a basin over here, I have a mixer over here, no heat. I'm gonna drop in a bit of andesite and a bit of zinc nuggets, one stack each, and it's mixing. There we go. I'll just oh yeah, I see it. It's a 1 by 1 ratio. Really? Man, I've been making andesite alloy very inefficiently if that's the case. Alright, ignoring the andesite alloy mix over here that I found, which is going to be very useful for the future, welcome everybody back. This time I've actually thought about what we should do, and I had a few ideas into my head. I thought about what we could do, I thought about what we could make, so I came back over here and I thought about it. I was like, what should I do? Then I realized I have a full ass farm up here that I could utilize 100% of. Now, of course, I know I said before, the past episodes when I've been working with immersive engineering, about how this farm would later on get replaced with these things over here. And these things aren't really that bad. It's basically just you add a bit of water, you can add a bit of bone meal if you want to, a bit of soil, and a seed up there, and you're able to just constantly produce anything you want. Wheat and wheat seeds. Then just load it a bit with RF, or IF as they call it in this mod. But frankly, I realized that I'd have to actually make a lot of things. Most specifically, I have to make a fluid pump that would pump up water into the machine. I'd have to actually give it power, and I have to figure out how the bone meal would work. Why do all of that when I can use this general form over here? Which, by the way, if you didn't know, I needed to get the source, because I don't think I have any other better methods to get source. So what we're going to do is we're basically going to take this whole episode off just trying to figure out how to farm this automatically. Now, I have an idea in the head, and I have searched up a bit about how to actually use this, but what we're going to use is mainly these resources. I don't know what I actually need to make this stuff, but I took a few things you might notice from our last build, and a few things you may not notice and feel like it's a bit new. And some things may not really spark your interest, or rather, they're just crafting materials. But the way I've thought about us making this is we're going to mainly work with the cart assembler. The easiest way to explain the cart assembler is this. Essentially, you give it some power, you give it a cart, and now it picks it up. So yeah, that's basically everything in a nutshell. Let's take this back up again. I'm gonna take a few rails. I made a lot of rails, hoping that they would get used. And see, here's the theory. We are gonna place our rails over here, like this. Up until the middle here, we will have a powered one going all the way over here. I don't think we need a powered one over here, but we can actually make a ramp right over here. I hope this will work. Like so. And then we can take this one and we'll have the ramp. But I'm actually going to use a powered variant for the ramp over there. So I have a few powered rails that I did pick up. So theoretically speaking, we'll have a block of redstone over here, which will power that. We will have this one over here. I'll get stabbed by these. And we'll power this. We can remove this so that it doesn't off rail and just, get into the water over here. Put a block. I guess we need to place one over here as well. So I'll place the block about, I guess we can place it over there. 2 rails. Break this one and replace it with a powered rails. We'll get a button later on. And let's actually check if this works. So if I take the minecart, place it over here, we do that, Okay, so it can hold itself up here. Let me get a stick and a cobblestone. Alright, I got myself my lever, and we're gonna go ahead and test out if this contraption will fire off. Note to self, add more power rails. I thought power rails launched the minecart a lot more better. Apparently not. I guess it's a lot more different when you're riding it. But it goes through there, takes that boost. Does it reach all the way? Yeah, it does. But it doesn't get powered. Okay, yeah, give me a minute. I'm gonna go ahead and make a bit more. Alright, just a quick update on the rails. We should now technically work back and forth. So we power this. It'll go through there. Yep. And it'll come back and stop over there for some reason. Oh, right, because it's not powered all the way. Oh, that's fine. I'll put another one so that we can test it. Right, it needs to be at an angle. There's probably a better way to do this, but I'm gonna do it like this. So go through there and boom. Maybe we can skip this rail as well, if that's the case. Yeah, yeah, we technically could. So it would come back, rest stuff over there. Alright, yeah. If we just make this part longer, that at least it hits. Yep, it'll go for the entire farm, and it'll come back to unload all its resources. Perfect. Push it a bit down. I'll remove this because I don't think we need that. Alright, perfect. Now we just need to make the entire assembly. And for that, we're gonna place this over here. We're gonna remove that. And now we can make our construction on this thing. Then once we bring the cart in here and, well, give it a redstone signal, it should connect the entire thing together. So let's actually start by building it. Now, theoretically, I should just be able to use linear chassis like this. So if I add this like that, well, I guess I should probably pull it back a little bit. Okay, now, with this structure up, all we have to do is just, not this one, just have to right click to do that. I guess I'll pull out the wrench, it'll be a lot more easier to break. But we just have to put this the length of the farm. So up until there. And now we can actually do a test run. Guess I have to do this. No. Like that. So I can actually place the lever. Then we get the cart. Let's try this. Does it work? Yes, it does. And it doesn't do the... Why did it turn around? Hang on. Why did you turn around? Okay, that's an issue that we're going to have to solve. Give it its rail back. Oh, right, because of this. Okay, hang on. Well, I'll push it back. Alright, so to actually solve a little movement problem, I actually realized we can lock the rotation here. So now if we actually pull the cart through, it won't actually rotate the entire thing. And I also made it so that the arrow pulled this way, so that we could actually build it correctly. So now that we know that it works, I'll just build this extra bit so we can get that as well. Not that we need it. Yeah, I guess we don't need it, so I can remove this bit. But I am going to keep a little bit of a hinge over here. And instead of having that ramp, I'll just keep it like this. Because I wanted to actually connect in with a portable storage face. And I'll show you the reason why right after we've built the rest of this. Now, for us to be able to actually gather all the resources, we're going to need a mechanical harvester. And I have one right over here. that we could just instantly connect in over here. Basically, the whole purpose is once they go over crops, they'll replant it. Hopefully. I have not tested this, so I'm unsure. But if we put a cart over here, and I give it a bit of storage, so I got these 2 barrels. Just place them right over here. And I guess we gotta glue them all together. Luckily I do have my super glue, so I just gotta right click a point. There. That should all be glued. Turn this on. Yeah, it works. Perfect. And then it comes back without any issues. Right, let's just disassemble this by pushing it back. Let's check the inventory. Yep, it farmed everything. Plus straws. Okay. That's gonna be interesting. Also, I'm gonna place this chassis back and disconnect you. So I'm gonna see if I can gather back the glue. I guess there's a way to do it. That should do the trick. Let's add the next harvester. I had an extra free if I ever decided to do this part, but I've realized I might not need the mage bloom seeds that much, so... Oh wait, there's an extra bit. Oh right, because they break that way. No, that's fine. I guess I could make a magnet of some sort to collect those. But for the time being, I'm actually gonna delete these. These are regrowable resources, so it should be fine. I'm actually gonna set up the portable storage interfaces like right now, so I don't forget. So I'm gonna have this one over here. And presumably, if it's gonna go all the way to the final bit over here. It's like I'm just taking a wild assumption that it's gonna break into there. But we'll place a block of some sort. Place you over there. So now we know that if it hits this wall, it will be at least 1 block between over here, meaning that the second portable storage interface should be right over here. Now, of course, you're probably wondering, how are we going to work with the storage? Are we going to connect a lot of chests with each other? No. Instead, I actually have a solution that works pretty well. And that, my friend, is an item vault. These item vaults are pretty big if you build them big. So if I do it like this is basically an item vault, and we can build it outwards if we right click like that. Which should be very good because this thing can actually hold a lot. There is, however, one downside to it, which may or may not shock you, and that is that we can't access its inventory. Like, however much I will right click, that inventory will not be accessed. So, slight issue, but that should be fine if we just work with this accordingly. All we need to do is actually pull out the resources we need. So, you might be wondering, how are we going to do this? And I'll explain that right after I've slept real quickly. So the thought here is we're actually going to filter out the resources we need. We could make it so that it always pulls out all the items, and then we have a chest over here that has at least one of each item, so that we can at least fill it out right. But I don't want to do it like that. Instead, I'm actually going to work around with this and make it work, so that we can actually automate the things we need. So instead of actually going over to our chest resources, actually hang on, let me give you a scenario. You're coming over here, you're like, I want to make something. I see the resources in here, now I just have to bring them to wherever the hell it is, so that I can actually make it. And in our case over here, we would just need to get the cabbage, get the beetroot, carrot and potato to make our regular bits of food. And if you don't know what my food is at the moment, it is just a healthy stew of vegetable soup. Pretty good, tasty, and nutritious. Only issue is we actually have to feed all the resources needed for it. Luckily, we can easily do that using well, just general resources. If I search in vegetable soup, you'll see that there's a resource or there's a recipe for mixing, and basically all we need is just a cabbage, carrot, potato, beetroot, and a bowl. I'm thinking about how I'm going to do this because I need an equal amount of each resource, and I might need to cut the cabbage. And we also need it to be heated. I'm unsure if we can use a campfire or not. If we can use a campfire, it makes the thing very easy to do. If we can't use a campfire, then it becomes a big issue and I'm going to have to solve it in a different way. One thing I do know is we need to somehow load in these 4 resources. And luckily I do have a way to do it. Just not all the resources necessary. So, I'm actually gonna see. Oh, crate is still broken. You know what? Give me a second. I'm gonna reload the game. Maybe crate will pop up. Alright, so I reloaded the game now, and it actually worked. So if you ever have issues with the J terminal, or if it's EMI, I don't remember which one it was. It's probably J. Just reload the game. Simple as that. But if we actually search filter, we can actually do this. 2 iron nuggets and wool. Do I have wool? Have I already made it? No. Of course I haven't made it. I literally told myself that I have not prepared resources. I guess we gotta find some paper. Alright, so now we have to actually filter out the items. And the best way to do it is to actually just use a filter base. Some of you might say, well actually nobody will say anything, but the ID might come out that I should probably use mechanism instead to do this. And to that I say I could. But I'm not gonna, because I can use create. If it ever happens that everything becomes imbalanced when I'm doing this, then but yeah, I should just be able to just take one of each and just filter it in. It's only 4 resources and it takes more than 4 resources in here. So we do this and then the beetroot. Put it all in here. And then we put this brass filter. You'll see here, it'll say you can put it in. I'm actually gonna look into exactly 6 foot. No, I guess any. Put the filter in here and it should now look into that filter. Now we just need to make a conveyor belt and I don't know what to use. I actually don't know what to use. Do we have? Yeah, we do. I'll just use these water wheels for the time being. Alright, here we go. So we got these running and we got the small one running. So that's our conveyor belt power that we're going to be using. So if I just cover this up so it looks a bit more nicer, not that it will look any more nicer than this, we'll add a shaft and I'll make more shafts. So like this, I'll just place 2 simple shafts, or 2 cogwheels, and then we put a shaft over here. And I'm realizing it's turning in the wrong direction. Here we go. If I'm not wrong, the other side of the gearbox will be spinning the other direction. Yeah, there we go. See, there's always a solution for everything. But I'll place this, and then we'll have, I don't know, I guess we could count to 3 blocks. I'll clear off a bit more over here. And I'm gonna have to quickly make a basin and a mixer. We'll also have to increase. Yeah, just give me a moment to fix this up. I didn't realize how much I'm gonna actually have to do. You know, I'm gonna be real here. I was not expecting everything to take this long. I mean, I've technically made the entire thing, but I've also decided to make all of this extra. I didn't expect it to be this annoying to make. But anyway, we actually have most of the resources, except for one thing that I just realized right now. I need a campfire. which we can make very easily by just taking a bit of stuff, taking a twig, break the twig in half. Finally, once the twig is useful. It's just been sitting around. I've been using it to burn Botania. Like it's so simple to do with Botania. It's just put it in there and there we go. Burns it down. But we'll make a campfire. We'll try it with a campfire. If it doesn't work with the campfire, then I don't know. I'll be angry at the creator for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Well, anyway, think we can just break this. Place this. Oh right, you can't do that. What if I do it up here? There we go. Now we're making progress. Then here. Okay, now it should be spinning at enough speed to at least work. And if we put another shaft over here. You spinning? Yeah, you're spinning. We will just use these mechanical belts, which essentially creates a way of making conveyor belts. We'll right click one end over here and then right click the other. No, I guess we have to shift. No? Why aren't you working? It's probably because of the top lock. I hope it's because of the top lock. Where's my... Man, I always make this harder for myself than what it has to be. I made a lot of conveyor belts because I thought I needed more. Yeah, it was the top lock. So I'll place you. Then I'll place an andesite funnel. A regular andesite funnel should be... Why did I filter that? There we go. Filtering. Yep. Here we go. So now, if I add in the items, they should pop out over here. Into this basin. They should maybe mix up. I don't know if the campfire will work. I know they work for boilers. But more than that, I don't know. I'm gonna place a brass funnel over here. Go in the other direction. And possibly into a chest? I don't know if you needed a brass funnel to put it into the chest. Maybe I can use a chute. Can I put a chute sideways? If I put it on the side over there. No. I think we can make tunnels. Nope. I guess I'll just let it be. I don't know. Okay, first let's actually test putting some items in here. So I'm gonna put you over there. I'm actually gonna sort out just the base resources into this one. 1, 2, 3. What was it? Bam, 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 bam. And I'll pick you up and put you on top of the chute. This should transport the resources into there. Okay, cabbage, potato, beetroot, carrot. If I shift right click, I can see all the resources in there. Why is it already mixing? Oh, it's making cabbage leaf. Okay, there's potatoes. Why doesn't the rest of the potatoes go in? Maybe I'm looking at this wrong. But hey, that was nice that they actually broke down the recipe. I'll just put in the rest so they can break it down.
Alright, I'm just gonna skip you forward in the video. I don't think it's legal for you all to watch me struggle with something that's very easy to deal with. I'm terribly sorry for putting you all through that. I'll just skip you forward to the part where I don't work with that and work with something else. Alright, perfect. Here we go.
Well, anyway, I guess I'll just disable this one for now. So we'll just have this conveyor belt running for the time being. I'll figure out what the issue is. Maybe I'll just have to put it out at 60 stacks or 8 stacks. Maybe I'll do something else. I don't really know. But I guess I'll place this barrel back. I hope the glue still sticks. It didn't, because I was putting it in the wrong place. Okay, I guess that solves most of our problems. We have a storage interface over here. this thing should connect when it comes into here, and it should put all the resources into the item vault. If it doesn't, then I'll have to figure out another way. I guess we could test that. So, but put our minecart up. Let's add our lever, which I hope I've placed somewhere I know. Yeah, it was in my inventory the whole time. Activate that. Give the minecart a push. I will just remove you until it comes back. Oh, wait. It didn't. Whoops. Let's just place this cart assembler back. And power it to go forward. Okay, so pro tip to self. Hang on, I could actually make this easier for myself and just glue this side. Then place the portal interface in the right direction. Okay, now it should work. Activate this. Connect it. And I forgot to fix the rotation. Try this one more time. Goes all the way. Comes back. And it connects. Beautiful. Connection looks a bit weird, but that's totally fine. Oh, the research doesn't go in. And you are shooting me. Stop it. Stop shooting me. You're really making this hard for yourself. Shoot me one more time and I'll gotta kill you. Okay, so we've come to an issue. I think we're just gonna take the most easiest solution. Some might say, oh, just put that conveyor belt or fix it properly. No, I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm actually gonna turn over to mechanism. If I do basic right over here. No, you. So what's this one? All we need is just steel and a basic control circuit. We could easily fix that. And in fact, I'll do it real quickly. Well, actually, no, whilst I actually have your attention over here, I have thought about making a designated area for all the Arch Novia stuff. So, I'm going to have to actually make a build. If you have any suggestions, put it into the comments or not. It won't really make a big difference if you do or don't, but it would really help me out with builds and whatnot. I'm gonna take a bit of inspiration and whatnot, and I'm thinking about just live streaming that. I'm going to live stream the build. Whether I am going to put it up as a video on YouTube, that is going to be something I'll have to decide for myself. But for the time being, I will actually somewhat make a build, and we're going to actually work a little bit with the Arch Novia stuff. So there will be somewhat of a build, but I don't think I'm gonna do a full build montage on just making a structure that would work with our stuff. Well, whilst the steel is smelting up, I'm assuming we still have a very long time before it's completed, we can actually talk about the Arch Novia stuff. Specifically, I have a few things over here that I've wanted to work with. So, here's the thing. The crossbow will come into that next time once we get ready for it. Here's the Enchanter's Sword, and the Enchanter's Sword can be inscribed with a spell at the scribe's table. I've been sick of just swapping back to the book to be able to like fight off enemies. And at some point we are going to have to get their combat again. What's the best way then to actually understand how to actually use certain things? So, if we come over to the scribe's table, we can put the Enchanter's Sword over here. If we take the book and we right click, or I don't know, what else do you do after that? I shift right click it. Effects augment only as freeze extended. Yeah, okay, there we go. So, we take a template. Let's just say we'll take number 8. And then, no, there was something at number 8. Okay, but then we take only the important stuff. So, let's just say, for example, once we hit an enemy, it'll affect harm, ignite, a bit of AoE, flare, amplify. And then I take that, I shift right click onto the sword. Now once I pick it up, there will now be touch, harm, ignite, AoE, flare, amplify, square root by times 2, not square root. So this sword should technically deal more damage now against enemies. And I guess we could test it out against this little fly. Come here, fly. Oh, yep, it did. So to explain real quickly what happened, it put fire on it, but also flare. If an enemy is burning, it will proceed to shoot out these mage fires from it. So we can now make a lot more efficient weapons, which is perfect because again, I'm tired of just hitting enemies like that. This deals 8 damage. We could probably enchant to put an enchantment table. I'll fix one up later. But if that didn't actually give you any IDs, basically I'm able to put spells on certain tools. And the crossbow is one of them. I could now make a little quick spell that basically helps me mine. What am I talking about mining? Why is that even related to the crossbow? Well, apparently, crossbows or any bows that's from the Ars Novial, you can actually put certain spells and whatnot on it. And I think I did bring a few. It's probably somewhere, I don't really know, but I do have one of the recipes over here that I need, which surprisingly adds a certain augment that I need, Pierce. Since this already gives 2 Pierce, this means that it's already preset with a little bit of Pierce. If I add more Pierce to it, I'm assuming it increases the Pierce even further by how many times that has also been. Since I am actually mining and whatnot, because it's Minecraft, I do have this spell, which essentially is an AoE breaking spell with free Pierce and Extract. I can basically do the same thing for the arrows and shoot that, and the Pierce will be even further since the arrow will travel a bit more further with the Pierce. So I can basically place this spell over here into that arrow. I don't have to worry about it being a projectile, and I don't think it'll consume as much mana. Hopefully. So, I'm actually gonna do that for the next time. But for this time, I'm actually gonna have to solve this, and let's look into if I actually have the resources I need. Because the oven is done, I got steel ingots. Let's really quickly craft this so that I can be over with this part. It shouldn't have been this hard to fix something like this. I'm pretty sure there's a better solution. I could probably do like a teapot thingy. Let's see. Right, do I have to get the wrench? I feel like I do have to get the wrench for the mod. Or maybe I could just whiff it with this. Nope. Or maybe? No. I can only pick up with this. Well, I guess we can get the other item that's needed. Yeah, I'm not... I mean, it's not hard, but it's annoying to make it. I can fix that next episode. I really can't bother with... oh god, the resources are in my inventory. And I'm saying that I don't bother. There's the stick. There's the redstone dust. There's the lapis. I just have to get iron. But I don't have enough to make the energy. Whatever. I'm just gonna end it here. Let's just end it. I'll fix this in post. There's no reason for me to actually show you what happens. I'll go do it right now, but I'm probably gonna end the episode right over here. I mean, I've been running for quite some time, and I don't really have much time left, but I'll fucking make it. Sure, why not?